Hey guys, it's E-Man and call me King, and I am back with another Showdown League. Yes, I know it's a little shocker that I'm doing another Showdown League when I said, hey, I'm not gonna be doing it anymore. But here I am with another one. And like I said, I know it's weird, and honestly I wasn't fully expected to be, but I kinda forgot that the ASL, I know you guys got like week one and the team builder and then nothing else. You guys know, or if you guys have watched like my update videos, my etc., just my most recent videos, you guys probably know that I had a lot of corruption issues, a lot of recording issues, and just a lot of computer issues overall during that time. So that's why the stuff like CMM and the ASL, which is what this league is, just kind of randomly came out of nowhere and stopped. But of course, like I said, just with any of all my other leagues that I'm now not only doing again, but I have now consistently been getting up. This one will be starting up again because the next season's came back, and I am the co-captain of the team with Okami again. Pretty much same thing as last season. So I am Okami is of course the main captain. I am the co-captain. So and he would like to do every other battle we take turns. So he's gonna do week one battle, and I'm gonna do week two battle. How we're gonna do this is we're gonna both get in call. We're allowed to do that in the match, and we're kind of just going to be talking to, we'll pretty much both be playing the match to an extent, but, one of us will be the pilot. So week one and such not so odd weeks will be Okami's. He'll be the pilot, and I'll be the pilot for all the even weeks. And yeah, like I said, we'll still be together. And if not, I'm probably, like, if we can't, like, schedule a day to be in a call at the same time as the match, then I might just simply ask him if he can record his side while he's playing, and then I could just take his side. Another thing that I might see, I might have to ask him. I haven't done it. I haven't asked him yet, but I kind of want to see if we do team builders. For each week, we can actually talk about it solo. So like he can record his side talking about his team builder, and I can talk about my side for my weeks I'm playing, just so we can get the most gist. As whoever's piloting will pretty much be making the team, and whoever's not piloting for that week will pretty much helping each other mock for the most part, and then we'll help. But for the most part, how we usually do it is that we build the team on our own, get a lot of, we go back and forth, and then like when it's close to the day we have to have the match, we do a couple mocks, and then we have our info. So yeah, but that's how I would like to see if we can do it. Maybe not though. Maybe we just have to go in and I do all the team builders. I don't mind. I know Kami is a very busy man, so we don't want to. I don't want to be taking most of his time. But with that being said, I want to talk about our draft because I want to upload and we need to talk about the draft, of course, if you guys want to know what's going on. So unlike last time, we're not going to be silly goobers and pick like Guzzlord round 2 and not get our tier 1 and such not like so late. We are going, and we're not also trying to make us and Mon do really well. This time around, we were just drafting Mons that we liked, Mons that we were excited to use, and Mons that are just really good in general. But also, of course, still had the fun usage. It's not like this is Draft League, and both me and Akami love making fun sets, so we are going to try to build fun stuff. But, of course, that does make it, what's it called? That does make it, less fun if we're trying to be a sweaty team and all that. But with that being said, we did get 5th pick, which is really great. So unlike in Gen 9 and like even Gen 8, where it's like the first 3 picks are kind of like the sweet spot of like you're guaranteed something absolutely busted, just because Natdex is so incredibly power crept and there's so much power. Like the first 6 or first 7 are the nice sweet spots you want to be. Of course, like the first 2 are gonna get like absolutely, man, Miss Mons allow, that sucks, we have to fight it. But we still get something incredibly good. And incredibly good we did. We got Mega. Yes, we did lock our Mega first time, but Mega LATIOS. Yes, you heard correctly, Mega LATIOS. This mod is allowed, and also we have it. Surprisingly, it did make it to pick 5. I was expecting it not to make it to pick 5, because, it kind of is usually like a pick 1 or pick 2. People want to like Spectra and Iron Val and all that stuff, so we'll gladly take a round 1 pick 5 Mega Lati. Mega Latios doesn't have to be talked much. It does exactly what Mega Latios does, but 10 times better. And then look at these goddamn stats. Let's just look at its base stat total. How about that, huh? Let's look at its base stat total. Good old 700. You can't complain about a good old 700 base stat total. But another thing that's why this mon's so good is that this is LATIOS. Now, Mega LATIOS, I have seen allowed in draft pretty commonly. In Nat decks, because it's a LATIOS. It's not like incredibly overwhelming, and the offensive stats are not as insane as Mega LATIOS' offensive stats. But as you look at this, we have the same stats as Q and Black, but a better defensive and offensive typing, and overall better stats with both defensive and speed being better than Q and Black. That's why this mon's insane compared to LATIOS than LATIOS. And not to mention, thanks to Gen 9, LATIOS specifically got mega buff compared to LATIOS. Now, Luster Purge is really amazing for LATIOS. It's still good for LATIOS, but LATIOS, yet again, is a very good support defensive mon, so it doesn't use this as often, but LATIOS takes advantage of this to the maximum extent. And the big thing that LATIOS, the biggest buff LATIOS has gotten, you could see it on screen, is Flip Turn. This is just an incredibly, like, any momentum with a really good mon is just really powerful, right? You can't really go away. Like, momentum is always good. Any mon that's even low tier can still be viable on a team because of momentum, and the fact that our Mega LATIOS now has momentum is absolutely criminal. When I saw it was around, I'm like, okay, we can't be stupid here. Like, I know we're trying to have fun and all, but this mon is an absolute monster, and I'm just gonna scroll because I'm not gonna talk all the moves because it has all the moves LATIOS gets, and of course in the past generations. And then yet again, even more. So this is insane. Like, look at all this. Look at everything this mon gets. The fact that we kept scrolling is really insane before I was done. I had to delay myself there. But of course, we have to also talk about how incredibly hard, like, this mon is unswitchable. There's not a mon that likes to switch it on this, thanks to its absolutely stupid coverage. You think of its typing, you think of a typing and it gets it. I think the only typing it doesn't get is Fairy, and that's it. And Bug, I think, actually. Fairy and Bug, I think, the two that it doesn't get, which is criminal. That's the two that it don't get. Fairy is a good one that you want, but it has Dragon, right? Doesn't matter in the long run, because you have Dragon. Speaking of that, Slice Spam and Dragon Spam is still, Dragon Spam is still back to it being kind of peak again, not as peak as, you know, Gen 5 and Gen 6, because of course Fairies are still around. However, Dragon Spam is still incredibly good in Nat decks. But Slice Spam is definitely the way to go in Nat decks. Like, that is just, like, the one typing that's really tough to deal with. And, yeah, picking up debatably the second best, if maybe the best Slice Spam user, of course the other one being Mega Alakazam, is insane. And again, these stats are stupid. This mon is also incredibly unpredictable. Also, thanks to Flip Turn, support sets are easier to run. Defensive sets are incredibly free with Roost. Yes, he does get Roost and Recover, of course. And then yet again, the great coverage making this mon amazing. It got Defog again, which is absolutely criminal. And yet again, there's just a lot of other cool, unique sets that we can run with this. But it's just the fact that this mon is easily, like, the Dragapult of Gen 9 for Nat decks, pretty much, is the best way to put it. It's really good. Like I said, I'm kind of shocked that this is allowed. I did not expect, what's it called? Like I said, I expected Mega LATIOS, not LATIOS, but yeah, we got this, and, I don't think there's much to be said about this mon. You guys will just see how incredibly powerful this mon is. The only downside, of course, it being the item, but, like, I'm gladly take a 700 base stat total for no item. So, yeah. But yeah, that's our first mon. And then, of course, there was a lot of picks before it came back to us, because we were around 5 out of, like, I think it's 16 in this league, or like 12. I think it's 16, actually. So there's a lot of coaches. So there's a lot of picks. And of course, like how NatDeck goes, everything just starts being taken. However, you can make a set draft before the league starts, and you will probably keep that set draft probably for the whole league, because there's so much mons. It's just almost impossible to get, like, every single mon sniped. So there's some mons that we had planned, and we got him. One thing I'm a little shocked is I actually would think this mon would be a mon that was going to be sniped almost immediately, because this mon is easily the most busted, the strongest mon ever. There's no negotiation to say this is not the strongest mon. It's either the strongest, most powerful mon you can get. And I am, of course, talking about Darmanitan Galar. Now, this mon got the most busted ability. It has a choice span ability. You do 1.5 damage with all your attacks, but you can only do that on attack and move. You're locked into until you swap out. This, however, still stacks with Choice Band. You could do 1.5 times 1.5. This mon is stupid, but also the fact that we can run the Scarf and Band at the same time is criminal. And this is not just like a Zoomerl, where Zoomerl has base 60 power, but has huge power. This is a base 140 mon. This mon, if you calc this with any single mon, it's not taking it. It's just not going to take it. Some of the best checks are like Milotic with Flame Orb with Marvel Scale, and I still think that gets like 3-shotted. This mon is a monster. There's no way to put it. The only bad thing with this mon is that it did, of course, since it's not in Gen 9, it doesn't have Ice Spinner. So if we want pure damage, we have to go for the Icicle Craft, which is 10% accuracy, or 90% accuracy. Which is a little scary, because, you know, me and Okami have absolutely dog water, stats, so it's just, luck, so it's just not great there. But, yeah, this mon is definitely one of these mons where it's like, I know exactly what set this is, like, it's coming each week, but you can't stop it. You physically cannot stop this set. It is too powerful. Of course, we do have to talk about, sadly, can't use any of its setup moves, but that doesn't matter when it's already pretty much at the setup stats. This mon has absolutely taken in Nat Dex by storm. Usually it's a round 1 pick. Usually it's banned. It's one of the very few, like, absolutely, completely, like, ISSUSE level mon bans that it's usually banned. There's not a lot of mons like this that are just, like, banned in most leagues, and this is usually one, so I'm glad that we got it. And yet again, good 95 speed stat. That's not bad. If it was 100, this mon would probably be banned forever just because it's insane. But yeah, this mon is just stupid. This stat is insane. Of course, it doesn't have... it has a good HP stat, so it can run an AV set, actually. I have ran that in the past before, and it actually has done a pretty good job. So there's times where we can run a little bit of a defensive set to like, trick my opponents. But yeah, this mon is just going to nuke. There's no way around it. Like I said, there's like, at best, probably 2 checks in the entire 1,000 Pokemon in the entire game to check this mon. So this mon is going to nuke, and there's no way around it. And I'm very, very, very excited to use this mon. Unlike Dracovish, where we have to make sure there's no water types, it doesn't matter what type in a mon is. This mon is going to get a kill. As most water types don't even like taking this hit, so it's very, very nice for that. But yeah, going to move on to the next mon, a mon that Okami loves so much. It's one of his favorite mons, probably because it's pretty much me IRL, so that's probably why. But I am talking about Buzzwole. Buzzwole is really, really good mon, and like I said, Okami is one of Okami's favorite. So Bug Fighting Sap is actually amazing. Yes, of course, we have the Flying weakness. However, this mon is definitely peak of Bug Flying, as we have had a bunch of Bug Flyings, and a bunch of them have been incredibly threatening in all types of ways in past generations, and even, you know, recent generations. But they always had a certain stat being underwhelming or such not, but Buzzwole does it best. Look at these stats. Beast Boost makes this mon an absolute monster. When it gets a kill, it gets a boost in its highest stat. This does mean we can either do defense or attack and completely start nuking, which is insane. Sadly, he doesn't get body press because he's not in Gen 9, of course, but actually that's pretty good. I think this mon would honestly be an S tier if it had body press. The fact that you could just run defensive sets, wall anything you feel like, and then also just click the most strongest move is stupid. But yeah, this mon does get roost, by the way, so this is why this mon's so good. We're pretty much only threatened by flying types. However, it's the same as Chestnut. It has the Chestnut defensive capabilities where it can take flying moves on the defensive side, not so much on the Spadef side, and it hits incredibly hard. And it has a Heracross upsides of just hitting stupidly hard if we feel like it, and completely snowballing if needed. And it's a combined of both, and it absolutely does its job incredibly well. Not to mention, we're not weak to rocks because it's neutral. Fighting resists rock, but rock is of course weak to it, so it's neutral, meaning rocks is not scary. We're really only scared of that really, of course, scary flying type moves. But yet again, if it's not a special flying move, we're probably eating it. And we need to talk about this mon. This mon gets bulk up, as you can see. This mon does get Drain Punch and Close Combat. This mon gets Dual Wing Beat, which is insane for coverage. Earthquake, which is amazing. And And then Ironhead for those pesky fairy types, which is one of the good counters for it, so you can already counter them. And then Poison Jab, and then of course Thunder Punch for the flying types. This mon is a monster. I know this mon was banned for a very long time, and I mean, hey, he's allowed now. Not in that, I'm saying in past generations. In Gen 9, I think he's kind of always been allowed, but still, yet again, it's a very hard mon. This mon is usually like an 18-point mon. I would not be shocked if this mon was an A2 because the fact that it can kind of take whatever, do whatever, deal however much it does, and then have the perfect coverage. Unless you're like a Scarf user that can also take a hit, there's no way you're counting this. This mon is really, really, really tough to check, and for all of Gen 8 tournaments, Buzzwole's counter was Buzzwole. So that's just to show how much of this mon was like that threatening. That this mon's counter was itself for a good point. And like, of course there was other ones like Flying Mons is the best way to put it, but this mon likes to just beat whatever, 1v1 or whatever, and trade. Which is really good when we have a Darmanitan and a Latios that likes to clean up, so it's really, really good with that. I mean, we talked about coverage and stuff like that, and yet again, Roost is really good. If we're not an AV variant, we can just always put Roost and do like so much profit with this mon. Like I said, this mon is just an absolute monster in pretty much every way possible, and just like I said with tournaments, it's been a nuisance for a long time. So yeah. However, we didn't stop with just Ultra Beast here. We picked up another Ultra Beast, and we were actually going to plan to tear it because a B tier allowed to tear, but it only would have 2 stab typings. However, it didn't have to be stab. 2 Terra typings, but none of them had to be stab. So we did originally have this for a Terramon. However, we realized if we wanted a C tier Terramon, which could have 3 Terra types, we would have to sadly not have a B tier. It's either one or the other. So we're just gonna simply try this mon out without Terra, and this is because both me and Okami have not used this really in draft before. I think we both probably have used it on the ladder. I wouldn't be shocked. It's a really fun, it's an incredibly fun mon to use, and I am talking about Nihilego. Nihilego is a really, really fun mon. If you guys are ever doing a Nat Dex, this is definitely a mon I definitely do recommend using. This mon is really, really, really fun. Rock Poison is an absolutely amazing offensive typing, of course, with it really only being scared by steel types, but hey, what moves do we get over here? Where is it? Oh wait, oh that's right, I lied. Never mind. So steel types are scared. I was thinking about Terra Ground, but we can't run Terra Ground, I'm stupid. Because we don't have enough Terra Captain. But yeah, so steel types are a little bit scary, but it's still not that scary, because look at these stats. So Buzzwold, the best way to put it is that these two are kind of like the counterparts for Ultra Beast. You can probably tell by the stats. This is the physical monster, and this is the special monster. So everything I said about Buzzwold pretty much also works for Nihilego on the Spadef side, which is really nice that we have both of them pretty much. Both of the same monster, but each side, of course, so that's really, really nice. And yet again, special attack moves are just much harder to check than physical moves, because there's a lot of physical bulk, there's a lot of more physical, bulky mons in general, but also the fact that just there's so much more stronger stab moves for special moves. The fact that there's a stab for all base 80 moves is really nice compared to just having Thunder Punches or the Elemental Punches of 75, so just a 5 base power better is always just naturally good for this mon. But this mon is kind of like the peak, not Toxic Effects, the peak Glimmer on the offensive, and peak AV Glimmer, which if you don't know, AV Glimmer does its job incredibly well, and this mon does it even better. So the only downside that it doesn't get spikes. It does get rocks and toxic spikes, not spikes. Which is completely fine. The fact that this mon could both be support with screens and spikes and rocks, and then also have like stuff like knockoff and such, it's really nice. Or even just be a really, really annoying Spadef wall with that incredible Spadef stat, and the fact that we can run AV on it is insane. Or one of the most common sets that people absolutely love running is a Power Hub Meteor Beam set, because this mon has a 127 special attack stat. It's really hard to check this, a special attack stat, even with AV, but not to mention, it breaks at 100 base speed, so it outspeeds most of the Pokédex. And because of this, of course, don't forget about its ability. Meteor Beam is easily one of the hardest, if not the hardest move to switch in ever. Because even Steel Mons don't like taking a +1 base 120 Meteor Beam move, and then also take another one immediately afterwards. And the fact that we can kill a Mon, get that +1 boost, and then proceed to get the +2 because we kill a Mon 99% of the time, pretty much makes this Mon win the game and snowball stupidly fast and stupidly easy. Like all it is sometimes in a lot of matchups, but it's just like, hey, this guy doesn't, either Steel type's too low, Steel type can't check this because it's like a Celesteela. We'll create the Meteor Beam set move and we win the game on the spot, and that's it. There's not much to say. I do gotta say, just because it is nice that this Mon doesn't get it, I'm glad that it doesn't get a speed boosting move. I know it's like, as someone who's actually, like, who's drafted it, I'm glad it doesn't have a speed boosting move. Or this Mon probably would be just like the Buzzwold of, like, this Mon could been S tier or bannable if it had a speed boosting ability or a move. If it get agility and just get its one bad stat, or like at least offensive bad stat, just to make sure no Scarfers can outspeed, it's stupid. So, yeah, plus we got to talk about the nice shinies. Nice little shinies there. So I love shiny. But yeah, this Mon's coverage is also insane. Pretty much just the same as Buzzwold. I don't really want to say much about, like, the moveset and such, not because it is pretty much the special Buzzwold. It boasts coverage set, but also like the offensive stats, so they kind of do the same ish with, of course, the different typing and the flipped stats. So, but yeah, this Mon I'm very, very excited to use. This is a Mon that seems really fun and really cool, and it's been a Mon that I'm like, if I ever did a Natdex league again, I would definitely use this. You guys know me how I'm not a fan of Natdex, but if I'm doing it with my pal Okami, I always don't mind. So, Sensei Okami, you guys know that he's been doing draft league ever since like the very first draft league ever, or some shit like that. Guy does it a lot. I don't think he did the first ever, but he's been there for a long time. But I do want to talk about our next Mon, which we finally gone through all our B tiers and A tiers. So now these Mons are going to kind of slowly get worse and worse. I say slowly because it's Natdex, so it's really hard to have a bad Mon is the best way to put it, but not as just absolutely monstrous. But this Mon definitely should have been a B tier. I just want to say now, this Mon should have either not been allowed to tier or been a B tier. And this is why we didn't give Nihilego the Terror type, because this Mon with 3 Terror types is absolutely busted and is a Mon that I am well known for because I used it in a league and dropped 40 kills with it. I am talking about good old Terra Superior. Yes, you heard me correctly. We can run Terra Stella. It is not banned with 3 Terra types. So we have Terra Grass, Stella, and Fire. So you guys know that in my other league that I used Superior and got dropped 40 kills with it, I was not allowed to use Stella. For obvious reasons. Terra Stella getting +1 in both stats and its base 120 move. And the fact that we could swap out later on and just do Terra Grass pretty much with our Leaf Storm still is absolutely criminal. This Mon is so busted. I think this is my first time ever seeing Superior allowed with Terra Stella in a league. So this is insane. We just have to talk about the Terra Stella. And another reason why this is so insane is because you guys saw, if you watched my league, I only used Terra Fire and Grass. I had Terra Electric. I never used Terra Electric Superior. Terra Fire gave it enough stab with the +2 to kill every single Mon. Every single thing. Yes, fire types. You heard me right. You think a fire would wall a grass Mon with only fire and grass moves? But no, it doesn't. It just hits too hard, and fire and grass is more than enough to completely nuke. So now imagine Stella, something that doesn't have a resist in the entire game, and it can also give you +1 boost. It is an absolutely monstrous Pokemon, and I think that if Anamus wasn't allowed to Terra, this one shouldn't be allowed to Terra. Anamus is not allowed to Terra, of course, but Anamus is less scary because of its speed stat. This Mon is base 113. It outspeeds like 80% of the Pokédex. There's very few Mons that can outspeed this. This Mon is one of these Mons that even your check will have problems checking it. Because all it takes is one Leaf Storm, and this Mon is now +2, and then imagine a Tail Blast to make that +3. This Mon just simply cannot be checked. I don't know why Stella was allowed. I think it would. I think it's fair without Stella, but Stella is allowed. I just really don't know how it's allowed, but yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if I make this a mon that just goes absolutely insane. In my weeks, I use this because, like I said, you guys saw some of the unique sets I ran, some of the fun sets I ran, some of the ways that I took advantage of Terra Superior, and you guys saw that I got it 40 kills. So now imagine a league where I can use its pretty much prime moveset. It is going to be insane. We should also, of course, talk about the defensive variant of course, the Glare, Leech Seed, Synthesis, all that whatnot, Dragon Tail, the support mon, knockoff. But yeah, to most of the extent, it can just click A one more time, and it's game over. I'm not going to talk much else about it. This is what it's going to do. You can't stop it, just like the Manatana. It's going to click that button. You know what it's going to click. You can't counter it. Goodbye. And I'm also not going to talk much about it because I did a whole league that's on this channel that I, of course, used it with, talked so much about it, and used it, I think, every single week except 1 week, which I used Terra Frostmoth that week, so that's why. But it's just one of those things of, like, this mon is criminal without Terra, and now imagine with Terra. So yeah, this mon is just going to probably win the game, and there's not really much to say about it. I'm very, very shocked that only made it back to us, but that we also allowed Terra Stella. There's one of these mons where I was very, very close to trying to convince Okami to be like, we might want to pick this like round 1 or round 2, because it's one of those mons. It's one of those mons that, like, it should be a B tier, and it should be a round 1 pick. The best way to put it is that Ogerpon, the regular Teal Mask form, is allowed to Terra to B tier, of course. And now it's picked round 1 for obvious reasons. It's a really strong mon, but speed is definitely better, and it's cheaper. That's why this mon's insane. But yeah, I'm excited that we get to use our boy again and probably do absolutely criminal things with him. We probably will be on an FBI watch list after what we do with him in this league. But hey, we'll see. But another mon that I am very excited to use, a mon that I've always kind of wanted to use and just simply haven't been in Gen 9, so I'm crying. But also just, I don't play Nat deck, so I haven't really gone to use this, and I'm very excited to use it. And it's, I think, one of Okami's favorites. I know he loves drafting it, he loves using it. We got good old Togekiss. Togekiss was our other C tier, and I think there's not much to say about. Super Lug is really nice if we just want to be a really, really offensive one. But Suing Grace exists, right? Suing Grace with Air Slash has always existed, has always been a nuisance, and has always been incredibly annoying. This mon, of course, gets U-turn. I lied. It gets momentum in some way. Hold up. Did it get Baton Path? I think that's what it gets. Yes, it gets Baton Path as its momentum move. But also it gets Heal Bell. So a defensive Thunder Waving Air Slash Heal Bell boost. Togekiss has always been an absolute monster in the meta, because look at these stats. This mod can be ran both physical and special on the defensive sides, of course, and then yet again it has a monstrous 120 special attack stat. So Air Slash, Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, Aura Sphere is an extra century with Flamethrower. This mon has great coverage. This mon really has like all it needs for coverage sake, and it gets all the healing moves, gets of course Toxic and Thunder Wave. Thunder Wave Air Slash is criminal. If you don't know, that's a 60% chance if we Thunder Wave him on with Air Slash and Suing Grace. Oh, sorry, no, it's 60% with Air Slash. It's like, I think it's a 75% chance to not move that turn if you Thunder Wave and Air Slash someone. And that doesn't include, of course, King's Rocks and all that stuff, where it can increase that chances by 20% more. So this mon is, you know, one of those mons that's like, hey, I don't want to play anymore, and we have seen it in a bunch of leagues, so. And of course, it's an amazing defensive mon with Roost, Thunder Wave, Heavy Duty, and of course it gets Defog, so that's really, really nice. That's a really common set, of course. It's a really, really common set right here, because yet again, big nuisance, and it can check whatever because of the fact that, hey, sometimes they're just like, I got the 60% chance 3 times in a row, I'm now killing something. It's just been a mon that has always done that, so yeah, I'm very excited. I also think both me and Okami, since Okami has used this a lot, he'll probably have a lot of cool sets with it, but because I really like this mon and I'm very excited, I've been very excited to use it, I feel like I might try to run some fun sets with this, so yeah, expect some fun stuff with this. Another thing that's nice is that no prison strats are going to work with Roost, because we have Soft Boiled and Morning Sun. Of course, the other one we'd probably be running is Soft Boiled, just because it's naturally better. But yeah, that is good old Togekiss for you. Pretty much big chunky monkey wall was fairy flying, annoying stats and moveset. Now we start moving more to the mons that are like, they do one thing incredibly well and some of the other stuff kind of well, and sometimes just like, you know, really good offensive threat, because we're now in the D and E tiers. And the first D tier we picked up with a mon that I told Okami about, and he was absolutely flabbergasted once I told him its moveset, because I'll be honest, I don't know why it gets these moves. But D tier is actually Jellicent. I'm not gonna lie, I thought this was a C tier, and then I'm like, wait, this is a D tier? So it gets, of course, a ghost immunity because of normal moves, fighting immunity, and water as well. This, of course, does also make this the best, one of the best, if not the best, Dracovish check in the game, which is really nice because Dracovish is a threat. We gotta make sure that mon is checked. Of course, this is not just Dracovish. This is any water types. The best example is Palafin physically cannot do anything to this. The best move Palafin can do is 9% with a Ice Punch. And if he does go for that, the move that Okami was absolutely flabbergasted, which I've always known about it gets because it's so stupid, it gets Strength Sap. This mon is unkillable in every single way. Look at these insane stats. 105 speed, 70 defense, 100 base HP. It checks anything you feel like it, and it gets Strength Sap. Not to mention get Will-O-Wisp, so if we don't want to run Strength Sap for some reason because it's like a really special team, we can just run Recover Will-O-Wisp, and then just run Hex. And now we hit base 110, absolutely tank anything we feel like, and then we get insane coverage of Energy Ball, Dark Pulse, Energy Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, Hex, and then he gets another one, if I believe. Oh, he gets Water Spout, that's right. Water Spout sometimes ran because of a nice Scarf mon. But yeah, this mon is insane. Of course, he gets Destiny Mod too, which is really nice. But the fact that we can just stall anything pretty much forever is stupid. The best check to Jellicents are usually Steel types for obvious reasons. They can't be toxic. And Steel types usually have good coverage, so sometimes we can hit this offensively. But this mon is just really, really, really annoying and really hard to deal with. It's one of those mons that I have used, and every single mock I've used it, I have probably gotten it like 4 kills. Because it's a mon that just sits there forever, walls everything, plus extra, and then gets kills because it sat there forever just doing so much. This mon is really, really, really annoying, and I'm excited to finally use it on a main team, and not just using it in mocks and just completely pooping on people. This mon is just, yeah, if you ever do a Natdex league, or a league, that's like Gen 8 or Gen 7, and this mon is in, of course, please pick this up. This is like peak defense, peak annoyance, peak complete monsters. Gen 8 is definitely the best one to pick this up because it gets Strength Sap in Gen 8, of course, because that's when it came out. So, yeah, if you get a Gen 8, pick this mon up. It's a monster. But with that being said, we have a lot of physical bulk right now. We get those good, nice neutral bulk right here. And then we have Jellicent and Togekiss back-to-back picks. So we wanted more offense, and this is a mon that I've been wanting to use for so incredibly long. It never got the chance to because I've been waiting for it to be allowed in a Gen 9 league that allows Terra with it. And the one league has been allowed with Terra, it was way too expensive. It was like 13 points. So I was like, okay, I can't do it in this league. I was like, Okami, let's pick up this mon. Please, I want to use this. I want practice with this mon before I drafted a Gen 9 because I want it to be a kill leader in one of the Gen 9 leagues I use it in. Because I really like this mon. I'm talking about Terra Delphox. This mon's a monster. This mon is really, like, just look at these stats for a second. Not one bad stat, and the one bad stat is attack, which guess what? It's a special attack, for obvious reasons. Absolutely monstrous. Move pool gets that really nice mythical fire that's 75, which is not the greatest, but it's nice to move with special -1 special attack boost, so it can set up those scary nasty plots, set up those scary calm minds, and go insane. And it gets agility with its 1-0 base speed. Yet again, base 100, it's higher than that, so it outspeeds most of the Pokédex, which is really nice. So that's just really nice here. Gets Encore. Fast Encore is always really busted in Draft League, especially if you know how to use it. It's 114 base special attack with insane coverage, and again overheat. This mon, I think like pretty much any high tier player has used this mon and has made it like a really overpowered, overwhelming mon, and it's just always been a mon that like very, very, very rarely is it not allowed with terror. Like oh sorry, very commonly. I said I meant the other way around of like it's most of the time it's not allowed with terror because it's very, very good. Because it gets like pretty much all the coverage it needs and the one move that it does need, so you know you can run it with Terror Blast of course. And the other thing is that Terror Fire Stab is just criminal. There's not really checks to this. The best checks are like immunity mons, you know, like Flash Fire, World Big Body. And yet again, Size Spam. Size Spam with Fire is really, really, really insane. So it's one of these things of just like, this mon is really, really annoying and really, incredibly difficult to deal with in every single aspect. And yet again, it's a little unpredictable. Has a great speed F, has a decent defense stat, can be ran defensively with Will-O-Wisp and Screams and such not. So that's another reason. But yeah, this mon's, it's also free terror from now on. D and lower get free terror. So this mon, we can choose any terror type for that week. This mon is going to absolutely destroy, I feel like. I feel like either me or Kami is just gonna find a way to completely nuke this mon, so, like, use this mon just to completely go insane, so yeah. But, yeah, that's kind of, I don't have much to say about it, because I talked about it in another league that I'll be posting incredibly soon, probably the day right after this I upload this one. But also, just because, like I said, I want to use it in a, Wi-Fi league, so I want to talk about it more when I use it, like, it's like, when I feel the most confident with it. But yeah, this mon's really fun. It's a really fun mon to use. Really cool mon. Has a great shiny, by the way. But a good coverage. This mon I'm very excited, and I think I want to do some great things with it, with Terra, so. But last, we have our last, D tier. And this one, me and Kami went really back and forth. The mon that we wanted got sniped. I can't actually fully remember what it was that we got sniped by. But whatever we did, we had to switch it up, and this mon, we wanted a water type. We wanted a mon that could do something really nice into the matchup. Like, just be like hey, we need a prep for this. Hey, we need to force an item. Something like that, like, you know, something like that. And I think this was, like, the perfect mon to be, like, to do that exact thing. We picked up Arachnid. So I think anyone has probably seen Arachnid in every single generation for obvious reasons. This mon is really, 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 really good. 70 base attack stat with Water Bubble. It gets 2 times damage from water moves. It clicks Liquidation with a choice banded move without having the choice move. And it can run a choice item or a boosting item. And the other thing is that a lot of leagues in Gen 9 run this with Terra, because Terra Water Bubble, the commands like Marvel Scale Milotic with like a burn boost, Terra Water Choice Band Liquidation still does like 40%, or like something even more than that maybe. But that doesn't even stop with this, because this mon gets Sticky Webs. So a defensive set with base 132 speed F incredibly works here, and same with defensive. It can be ran defensively here. It does get Endeavor, which is nice. Nice little cool sets we can run with it. But another one that's really fun with this is that it does get Rest. So Resto Chesto is really good with this mon. And funny enough, if you do Sticky Webs, you can do a Trailblaze set once they swap out, of course. Because 42 is not great, but just like Ursaluna under Webs, it's basically, the speed basically is doubled. So this mon outspeeds any 80 base speed and higher, pretty much is the best way to put it. And then with a Trailblaze, of course, it's going to outspeed even more. So you can outspeed base 100 mons. So that's why it's just really strong. And yet again, Sticky Webs is one of the things with this team is criminal. The best checks to Diamanitan, Superior, Nihilego, once they snowball, always Scarf. That's like the only check to them ever. We now have Webs. They physically can't outspeed us anymore. They physically cannot check us if we have a Webs team and we get them up. It is that good, and we have a Jellicent to the block pretty much forever, which is really, really, really nice. It's just one of those things where it's just like, damn, this is not only allowed, but it also can just, you know, oh, sorry, not allowed, but we got it with this team, but also it has a great core here with us. It's really good. I'm very happy that we actually picked this up, and it was definitely like, it was like 12 or like 1 a.m. for me and Akami, and it was our pick, and we were like, let's pick this up, whatever, and we'll think about it when we wake up. And then yeah, it fit perfectly, not only with the team, but it fit really well just in general. I love Arachnid. Arachnid's definitely a mon I want to use not only in like Gen 9, but just in future generations, and just like any other drafts, because he's a really fun mon to me, and I really love him. We gotta also of course talk about his nice move pool coverage he gets. He doesn't get like what he fully wants. Of course, he probably wants like something to deal with like really annoying mons like flying types. He doesn't get rock moves and stuff like that, but it doesn't really matter as much because yet again, liquidation does it, and then grass types we get leech life stab, which is criminal. So yeah, this mon is really good. You probably have seen it in every single league you've been in, if you've been in a league, because this mon's always picked. Yeah. I'm gonna try to speed up with these last three because we've talked about one of these. We wanted to run it back. Oh, I mainly wanted to run it back. We get a third Ultra Beast on the team. We are running back Terra Guzzlord. Now, you guys saw what we did with it, not only in my very first draft league, where we made it, Terra banned in that draft league, by the way. Ever since we used that in that very first draft league, someone who was an incredibly unexperienced player made it banned, just to show how good it is in, Nat decks. But we get free Terra yet again with this mon, and even in the last season of ASL, sadly, even though you guys didn't see the footage because it's only like week 1 and then the draft analysis, we went absolutely criminal with this mon. This mon did so much every week, carried every week, did everything we wanted and plus 10 times more. It was the MVP last season, easily. This mon was insane, and now we get to run it back again, and this time with a team that it likes to use a lot more. There's no Tapu Fini counter in it. It has some great mons to pivot into. It has some great mons to help this mon just kind of be more annoying, and it's another thing that, like, we don't have to run super defensively every single time now because we have a more defensive team this time around. Or at least we have more balance this time around. I'm not going to talk really anything at all about this mod because watch our last draft analysis where not only I was gassing it up, but Okami was gassing it up. And if you want even more knowledge on it, watch my very first draft, like where we made it do a lot of things, even though I didn't do so great with that. But did do so great in that league, and I wasn't even well experienced. And I only had 3 Terra types. This is free Terra. I know both me and Okami was like, if there's any time we can put this on the team, we will. And well, it has Terra type. So it is always going to be on the team most of the time because it's just incredibly incredible. Like, it's just incredible. It should be a D tier in my opinion. I think this one should be a D tier just because the fact that it could have Terra. So that's the only reason why. If it wasn't allowed Terra, it should be E tier for obvious reasons. But yeah, this one's really amazing. But we're going to move on to the last 2 mons. Next mon is a mon that I wanted more for speed tiers. But also just because I really like the more offensive, because we've been drafting a lot of defensive. Togekiss, Jellicent, Arachnid, Buzzwold, Guzzlord. I was like, okay, let's get a fast mon, let's get a fast electric type, something that we wanted really badly in our last season, and it's just always nice. And this is an E tier. So I'm gonna be like, hey, let's use this. We're gonna use good old good boy, the best boy ever, Bolton, base 121 speed. Yes, you heard right, base 121. Not only our fastest mon on the team, but it outspeeds a lot here. It outspeeds most birds. It outspeeds all those, like, Talonflames and all that stuff. Actually, I think Talonflame's 123. But you know what I mean. It can outspeed a lot of those birds that are really fast and just natural fast mons. Of course, it outspeeds that base 110 too, which is a lot of, one thing a lot of Game Freak people like to do, or what Game Freak likes to run. Just a lot of, they're just like, yeah, whatever, it's 110 and call it a day. So it can outspeed all those. And it gets strong draws with all the all the fangs. Which is really nice. Thunder Fang, Ice Fang. Oh, he doesn't get Ice Fang. I apologize. I thought he did. Wait, really? He doesn't get Ice Fang? Well, I could just type in Fangs. Oh, that's what he gets. Psychic Fang and Fire Fang, and then, of course, he gets Crunch. This mon we have seen in past draft leagues, but also, just in general, been an incredibly strong in Nat decks, because, yet again, it's a really strong mon. Base 90 in both stats is nice because, well, Hey, it can be mixed, right? It gets play rough, which is also really nice, but it can be mixed. It can also be a nuker with some wild charge. But sometimes like Thunder Wave Volt Switch moves, Volt Switch sets kind of work, kind of just like Electrode, Assume Electrode, where it can be ran that annoying Spadess side and just kind of be annoying. But again, it's really hard to switch in on this mon. I have done a bunch of games, a bunch of mocks, and even in my very first draft league, someone made this mon an absolute monster. This mon is really, really good and really, really tough to switch in. It's one of those mons where it's like if it's allowed and it's not like overwhelmingly expensive, you should try to pick this mon up. It's a really fun mon to use, and it's a really good mon to use. Um, really excited. The only downside is that it costs all the elemental things and 95% accuracy, so there's a chance you can miss. And it also likes running play rough, which is 90% accuracy, so there's still also the chance to miss. But yeah, this mon is a monster. I've seen this mon do wondrous things in most leagues, and it's really strong. It's just one of the mons in Draft League, specifically, where it's like, in ladder format, it's not so overwhelming, but in Draft League, it's really overwhelming. Especially when you have a good team with it, and our team fits it really well, really well. And yet again, we have a lot of mons that snowball, so a mon that can just completely nuke, and help our snowballers to, like, achieve just an easier endgame, this mon's gonna do it for us, which is really nice. Or even the other way around. Our snowballs just make an endgame where it's super free for this mon because it's base 121 speed. Like, we'll know what Scarfers are because of this, or even the other way around. So it's really nice. I'm just gonna kind of say that much about it, though. It's a really fun mon, and like I said, I'm really excited to use it. It has some really fun stuff it could do. It also gets bulk up, which is, like, defensively not good, but offensively, if we get a bulk up and then just, like, spamming fangs, it could be really scary. So, yeah. And then, our final mon for the whole league, we needed a normal type because Spectre's allowed, and you always, if Spectre allowed in any single generation, draft a Spectre check. Please, you need to. It's such a monster. You gotta make sure. And I wanted to use this mon for such a long time because this mon's really funny to me and also really fun to use because it's incredibly annoying. And it's a mon that also walls Spectre really well. Double. Do I have to say anything? Look at its stats and look at its ability. It gets fluffy. And it had absolutely criminal defensive stats. Not to mention base 88 speed's really nice because this mon does get caught in guard, plus 3 defense, which is stupid. And any mon that has this, it's always been a monster. But then another reason why this is so busted is because look, you see it right here. It gets body press. Yes, this mon could pretty much do a tail glow version of body press with this mon. This mon has a tail glow for itself. It is stupid. Now, there's one downside to this mon. If you see, it doesn't get a good way to hit ghost types, so it gets walled by ghost types. However, which is not great to say when, hey, this is supposed to be a Lottie check, but we do have a Dark Move of course. It's just I'm saying for the kind of bulky ghost types, or maybe ghost types that can take, that are not super fragile, is what is like the most extent to this mon. But yeah, the body press is, this is all you need to say about this mon. This mon with this is going to go crazy, but it gets wild charge, it gets Zen headbutt, it gets facade, which is really nice with toxic, because that's one thing that a lot of people like to do, and it gets sword stance, so you can also run all that stuff again, and times more. It gets rest if you really want to be a douchebag and run cotton guard rest with like a chopper bear, not chopper bear, chesto bear, which is insane. Gets baton pass for momentum, which is really nice, and then substitute is really good. Substitute, it just makes a lot of fighting types really annoying, because the best check is a fighting type, to be like, hey, yeah, you might do like 60%, 50% to me with this body press, and I'm maybe have to trade with you, but I can kill you in the end. But substitute pretty much throws that entire fighting type out the window, which is really nice. So yeah, I don't have to say much about this mon, as pretty much what I'm saying, what it does, what it shows, what moves it has on screen is pretty much what it does. And yes, agility is viable as 88 speed. So I've actually seen a lot of double sweeps in Gen 8 leagues, and even some Natdex leagues with tear with this mon, because it's really good. It's a really good mon that's really low points, and yet again has an incredibly busted ability. So yeah, and yeah, and even the fluffy helps bait stuff like Delphox and Mega LATIOS to come in, which is really nice for us. And even Jellicent, but Nihilego, which is really nice for us. So yeah, that's our draft league. That's our draft team right there. Tell me how you think about the team. I definitely think it's better than last season. And I'm definitely more comfortable with this team. And I also think Okami is very comfortable with this team. There's a lot of mons that he's used a lot, and a lot of mons that definitely fit exactly up his alley. So I'm very excited. And like I said, tell us what you feel about it. Tell us what you think, and please support us this time around. You know, I know people are supporting. People are actually really excited, and I feel really bad for just like pretty much I had to stop. I had to stop uploading the leagues, sadly. But this time I can actually do it. So if you guys really want to watch this and you want to watch more NatDex content, here it is. And if you want to watch more content with Okami, he's on here now. I'm gonna try to bully Okami to make a YouTube channel so he watches his match, because he's an incredible player, incredibly talented, and he's very funny. He's also just very enjoyable and wholesome to watch. So he's one of those people that, like, if he made a channel, he would probably just overwhelmingly get a lot of support and be very popular in a very quick time span, just because he's very nice and very well known, I would say, as with all that knowledge. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there. It's been a very long video, good old 50 minutes. What can you say from Draft League analysis? And yeah, I will see you guys in week 1, where Okami will be piloting, and I should be in the chat with them. We should have already planned that, I believe. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Later.